So this is just a quick feedback video for Chris from Convertri. She put a post up about SEO and about optimizing for mobile and stuff. And Peter Buick, I hope I'm saying your name right, has produced an excellent video. I'll put a link to it under this one. It's superb video, well worth watching. But it's all about, it's a bit of marketing stuff, but mainly it's about like SEO and making it right for mobile and so on. I'm not going to go into that in this. What I'm going to talk about is your actual website design and talk a little bit about that because that's something I can help with, and hopefully this will be useful. I'll be honest, and I will be blunt because you said that's what you wanted in your comments, so hopefully that's okay. As with all feedback, take it or leave it as you will. Take the good bits, the bits you like, take the bits you don't like and discard them. It's nothing personal, it's just a review of your website as it is. So, here's the website. It's Life Redesign now, and the first thing I would say about the website as it is you need to think about what I call the 4-second test. In essence, someone has to land on your website and within 4 seconds be able to tell you exactly what you do, exactly what the website's about. And I'm going to be honest, with your website, it doesn't really tell us that. We don't know if you are about changing careers. We don't know about you if you're about people who are getting divorced and starting a new life as a single person. We don't know if you're about people who've just got married and need to design a future together. We don't know if it's about people who are suffering with depression until we read through a whole lot of content. It could be about anything, and that's going to be a problem because the more energy people need to use to work out what a website is about, the less likely they are to stay on your website and the less likely they are to buy from you. The other thing that your website doesn't do immediately is tell us what you want us to do as a visitor to your site. What is it you want us to do? So, to that end, we need to think about the design of the page above the fold, which is what we can see here. All right. So, when people land on a website, they read it from top left here, across in a Z shape to about here, then they scan down left to the bottom here, and back across here. So what that means is that you need to put relevant things at the relevant points. So here's what I would suggest. With this being your website, what do you want people to do? And from having a scroll down, it looks like what you want people to do when we eventually get there is book a free 30-minute consultation. So what I would do if I were designing this website for someone, I would put a call to action button here that says book now or book a or free 30-minute call, anything, but say book now. Tell them what you want them to do, so they know where to go when they've decided what to do. They might not click on it straight away. It might not be the first thing they do when they land on your website, but having a clear call to action at the top right is ideal because then people know where to go. Then what I would do is have what you do and what you offer in the middle here, written really clearly across the middle here. So I'll talk about what you should write in a second, but that is where I would put it, right in the middle there, so it's really clear. Then, in terms of design, put another call to action here. So what will happen is, okay, you get the point, there's a call to action there. So what will happen is people land on your website. They'll see your logo, that's fine. They'll go, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. They want me to book now, but what am I booking about? Here is what it is you do, clear wording, which I'll go through in a minute. And then underneath that, directly underneath, is another book now. It's been proven in A/B testing that actually, in split testing, that this works. It does work. Rather than having a call to action further down the page or not having these two call to actions there. So what do you write across the middle here? I will go into that. 1 second. This is, as I said in my message to you yesterday, I did actually make this yesterday. So let me explain what I'm doing here. So let me create a new slide, put in a new slide, delete that, and so here's how I would write, what I would write in the middle of that page. So firstly, you need to state the problem that you work on, state the problem that you solve, then say what you do. So it would be, we help, or I help, whichever, who achieve / do what by the service you provide. So for example, if you were a fitness coach that works specifically with new mums who want to lose weight, for example, you could say, you would state the problem. As a new mum, losing weight is not easy. We help busy mums get back to their pre-pregnancy weight by providing a bespoke, friendly fitness and nutrition plan, for example. Or in your case, if you were talking to people who are stuck in a rut, which is sort of the impression I get from your page, you could say it can be easy to feel like you're stuck in a rut. We help driven, motivated people discover a new career path by providing friendly, holistic life coaching services. Or it could be, we help driven, motivated people discover a new lease of life by providing friendly, holistic life coaching services. Anything, as long as it is what you do. But the things I would point out is here. So in terms of, oops, let me get that working. So there's a reason that we go with positive sort of heroic abilities here, so, or descriptions I should say. So we help driven, motivated people. It's better than saying we help depressed, anxious people, because what happens is that makes people go, I'm not sure I want to be a depressed, anxious person. I'm not sure I'm quite in that place. So it might be that you could say, we help people who are willing to make a change, or people who really want to make a change, or anything like that. People who are motivated to change, discover a new whatever. This will take some time to work through for you to work out and exactly work out what it is that you want to put on your screen on that top page. But if you use that, hopefully, I say hopefully, it should definitely get you better results, because it's easy for people to then see if what you're offering is for them or is not for them. If it's not for them, brilliant. They leave your website, end of, they're not your customers anyway. If it is for them, they'll know straight away, and that's important, because if they don't know straight away, you'll be losing customers. So put this in, let me go back to Google, put this in here, then underneath another call to action, book your free call now. Now, when it comes to the design of the website with the images, as Peter mentions as well, this image is not great. It's quite confusing. I know he suggested putting this one in at the top, and yeah, there's absolutely a place for that. I personally wouldn't. I'm not saying Peter's wrong. I'm just saying that different people have different ways of looking at things. Personally here, because you are a life coach, people are going to be wanting to work with you, and they're going to want to know what you look like, because they need to trust this person. So here's the things I would suggest at this point. You want smiles. A smile will sell. Smiles on this top bit will sell, because what people want to see is the transformation that you're going to bring. So they want to see that positive end result of how they're going to feel. They want to land on your site and go, that's what I want. It's why clothing manufacturers, for example, or fashion designers, they don't show pictures of people wearing drab clothes and say, buy our clothes and you won't look like this. They sell pictures of models wearing amazing clothes and go, this is what you could look like. I think that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyhow, so what I would do personally is I would either put a picture of you smiling on the front here, possibly you with a client, not necessarily a real client. It could be just a picture of you life coaching someone. I mean, ideally, I'm going to be honest, ideally for your client's sake, use someone who isn't a client because they might not want to be identified. So you could just create a model. And I'm going to have to pause this video because my children's school is calling. I'll continue in a second. So I'm back. So it's about half an hour later or so. I have to pick up my daughter from school. She's not feeling well, but that's fine. She's upstairs now. Just hopefully gonna have a sleep and feel better in a bit. Anyhow, so where was I? We were talking about maybe, yes, that's right. We're changing this image in the background, putting a picture of a smile because people want to discover you want to, essentially, you're selling a transformation, you're selling them becoming something different to what they are now. So, yeah, so you put your call to action down here, book now, change this image, change the wording here. Then we get on to your sales copy. So your sales copy at the moment is very much quite negative, to be honest. At the start, it's really, really negative, which it's important to have some negativity in your sales copy because if you haven't got the negatives, then there's no positives to sell. You need that there. Whether you need quite as much as this, I don't know. That's your choice. But I'll tell you the framework that I use to frame my copy when I'm writing copy. Something I learned from Ray Edwards, who's an American copywriter. He took it from the church that he grew up in. They use within the Christian church, they use the word pastor, which means shepherd from the Latin pastor. Essentially, the idea is that the shepherd, the pastor, leads the flock to where they need to be. So it's not pushing, it's leading. So your clients, you don't need to push your clients into buying. You just need to show them where they need to go, which is to come to you and get the treatment they need. So it's PAS. That's awful. TO. Pastor. What I'll do, give me a second, I'll go back to Keynote and we'll use that because actually that'll be easier to explain it in. So here's Keynote. Let me wipe that off. Let me create a new slide. So here's how the pastor framework works. P stands for, sorry, just resizing stuff so we can get in the middle of the screen. P stands for people and problem. So this is, who are the people that you're trying to reach? What is their problem? So if we were talking fitness, nutrition, the people you might be wanting to reach are new mums. So the problem, they're trying to lose their baby weight. So the people and problem, you might start your sales copy by going, as a new mum, it is very hard to lose that weight, to get back to your pre-baby weight because there's so much more going on. You're busy, you're got the new baby in the house, you can't leave the baby alone, so you can't go to the gym, etc. So that's the people and that's the problem. A stands for amplify. So this is where you talk about what will happen if that problem doesn't get resolved. Worst case scenario. So you go, but you know that if you don't lose weight, the risk of heart attack, risk of cardiovascular disease, risk of, obesity related illnesses increases, means you won't be able to keep up with your children. You could die young. I mean, obviously that's an extreme, but if you're trying to sell stuff, he suggests that you amplify the problem to that extreme. S then stands for story and solution. So ideally, this would be a position that you're in. So again, if we're talking the same thing, nutrition and fitness for new mums, you could say, when I was a new mum, I discovered that I also struggled to lose weight, but I discovered this fitness routine and this nutritional eating plan that really worked for me and took me from being overweight to an ideal weight, or from not fitting into this dress to fitting into that dress, whatever you want to do. Or in life coaching, you could either use a testimonial from a client who says, you could say Janet was struggling because she was stuck in this job that she hated as an accountant, and she really wanted to make jewelry, but she couldn't do that. So she then worked with me and took her through these steps, and I used the life coaching system to help her, and now she runs a jewelry store, making her own jewelry, and consequently she's much happier than she was before. T stands for testimonies, testimony and transformation. This bit is exactly that. You get testimonies because that adds to your credibility. You get clients you've had before, and you don't want testimonies that just say, oh, Chris is great to work with, she does this and she does that and she's a lovely person. What you need are testimonies that say, oh, Chris is great. Before working with her, I was stuck in a job that I hated. She took me through some stuff. She's really friendly to work with, and after working with her, I was able to quit my job and be this. Or whatever the transformation is that you take them through. You need your testimonies to cover that. O is for offer, which is essentially what you offer. So this is where you describe your package. In essence, these are the features of your package. So is it a 12-week system? Is it video course? Is it one-to-one personal training? All that sort of stuff. That's where you make the offer. You explain what it is that you offer. And then finally, R is for response. I don't know why that went smaller suddenly. Let me just do. So response, this is the call to action. You say, right, I've got 6 slots available for new clients this month, book now. Real simple response. You've explained everything that you have to cover, and then you ask them to respond to that. So that's the PASTA framework that I use for copywriting. Obviously, you'd be more detailed in what you say than what I've just said. So we're not talking 6 lines here. It's probably a bit more than that, but you can put it in and you can break it up across your web page, but it doesn't have to be. But do follow that, and you'll find it's a lot easier to write some really compelling sales copy. So hopefully that's helpful for you. What else did I want to chat about on your site? The main thing to focus on when it comes to selling to people is that you don't want to be the hero in the story. You don't want to be the one that makes their life better. You want to make their life better. You want to help them make their own life better, if that makes sense. And that's a big thing that I've learned from Donald Miller and his StoryBrand framework, which I probably don't have time to go into right now, but you can always chat with me later, send me a message or whatever, and I can go through it with you if you like. Right, coming on to more of your website. I would be really careful about any call to action, any sort of thing on your site. For example, this one here, it's time to catch a wake up. What does that mean? If it's not really clear what you mean to other people, they won't buy from you. Our brains are always trying to filter out extraneous noise that we don't need to focus on, extraneous feelings. For example, if you're sat on your chair, you probably won't feel the chair against the back of your legs until I mention it. That's because your brain is constantly filtering it all out, which is why having really clear copy helps, because your brain essentially wants to preserve energy like the rest of your body does. It wants to preserve energy, so you want to remove anything that could cause confusion. So it's time to catch a wake up. I don't know what that means. If you said it's time to make a change, or it's time to start something new. All of that is clear. It's time to catch a wake up is, in my opinion, it's a little bit wishy-washy. It's not clear enough. It's essentially the equivalent of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's campaigns back in 2016. Donald Trump was really clear about what he was going to do. He was going to make America great again. Whether you agree with his policies or not, that's not the point. The point here is his campaign slogan was really, really clear. Time to make America great again. So what he's going to do, he's going to deliver on a promise to make America great. Hillary Clinton's campaign slogan was, I'm with her, which really says nothing other than her slogan is to get you to vote for her. She doesn't promise anything clear. She doesn't promise anything. And again, here, in my opinion, it's time to catch a wake up could be changed to something much better. Again, these are probably your brand colors, potentially, but this book now button, in fact, your call to action buttons are quite dull. I don't mean like boring, I just mean they don't attract the eye very well. So I mean, imagine if your buttons were this color. So then you've got, I'm not saying you have to go with yellow, but if you were looking at that page, you would see that would stand out. Maybe you could use this color from your like it's not perfect, but something similar to, oh no, that's not going to work, is it? Let me clear that. Let's see that color there that you have in your tree design there. Maybe if you use that, it will stand out a bit more. This isn't the exact same color. In fact, that's a highlighter, so that's not the best description, but maybe if you use that color or something a little bit brighter to just really attract the eye, you'd get more people clicking on it. I won't go through more of your sales copy here because that's up to you. Right, this is good. Get a free depression information guide. That's a good call to action. That's a good lead magnet thing there. It might be better if it was more than a free depression information guide, but it was said something like, I don't know, 7 ways to live a fulfilling life despite suffering with depression, or something like that. Something that promises something specific rather than just more information about depression. But at least they are getting something for that. Moving on down, again, we're talking about images here. I know Peter mentioned the images in his video. This image I really like, but I don't like it on this website because, again, it's quite negative. It's, from an art point of view, I think it's an incredible image, but I think it's quite depressing. It doesn't bring about any sort of joy or future promise of hope. It's just quite depressing, if that makes sense. I don't mean that in a negative way, other than the fact that actually, yeah, it's not gonna sell anything. No one's gonna look at that and go, that's what I want. And all your images should play to this preferred future, to this future of hope and excellence and like the future life that people want to achieve, rather than the negative place that they're in now. You want your sales page to be the light at the end of the tunnel, not the darkness of the tunnel, if that makes sense. Moving through, you then talk about offering the following services and resources. You talk about life coaching, and then you mention website design coaching and an online business education system and a health and well-being resource library. Now, in fairness, the health and you might want to fix this typo. The health and well-being can go with the life coaching, but I personally wouldn't sell it on this page. like Peter mentioned, one page, one promise. So keep it really focused as to what you offer. If you offer life coaching, be the best life coach you can be. If, on the other hand, you offer online web design, then offer incredible web design. Don't do both. It'll be like if you hired someone to come in and do your interior decoration. Oh yeah, come in, I'll redesign the interior of your house so it looks amazing. Oh, by the way, I'm also a plumber. You're going to be like, oh, do I want someone who does a bit of both, or do I want someone who's an expert plumber or an expert interior designer? That's the thing we're looking at here. You don't want to confuse people about what you do. Be the life coach or be the online web designer. If they're linked, so if you were a life coach and NLP practitioner, they're linked, that's fine. Those two things overlap and work together. If you were a life and fitness coach, those two things can work together. As soon as you go into website design with life coaching, it sort of jars and confuses your clients again, or your potential clients, and they'll end up going, no, I don't know what she is anymore, and then they leave your website and then they don't come back. This call to action here that's just popped up, I would suggest that you again offer something specific. See, 10, 12 years ago, signing up for a weekly email worked. People would do it because they didn't get as many emails. Nowadays, you need to offer something of value, something that is worth between £10 and £15, $15, $20, that sort of value for people to actually give up their email address. So I personally would get rid of this sign up to get a weekly email thing, and I would replace it with an offer about like a lead magnet that you can actually offer people for free in exchange for an email. Now, how do I close this? There's the X button there. Cool. Again, an online business education system, I don't really know what that is. Is that about creating courses, which I think it might be, but also it could be a library of online business education that they can access, or it might be something completely different. It might be a system where they can learn how to do business whilst online. I don't know what this is. It's confusing. You need to be really, really clear about what it is, because it's just not super clear. And then finally, the health and wellbeing resource library. Again, it's something that you might want to have as an option on your website, but not necessarily something separate. I'd have it almost like as a tab or as another page on your site. Again, so those are a few pointers, hopefully, that are helpful for you to fix your website. If you want to discuss it further, give me a call, well, message me, and I also do free 30-minute appointments, and we can have a chat, and you can find out. I can give you some more pointers and whatever, and we can chat about what else you can change. So hopefully this has been helpful. The good thing about Convertri is that all these changes can be made really easily. Whereas, say, if you were using WordPress, which you might be, I don't know, but assuming that you're not because you're on Convertri, on the Convertri Facebook group, I'm assuming that you're not using Convertri, that you are using Convertri, and that means that you can put your buttons exactly where you want them to be, and you don't have to worry about getting around WordPress and so on. But yeah, you might find that you can put the buttons wherever you want on WordPress as well. Anyhow, hopefully this has been helpful. Let me know, drop me a message, and yeah, let me know if this has been helpful. Thank you again for listening, and speak to you soon.